Wasn't too long ago that YouTube introduced Shorts, but there was concern about long form video. I had that concern with YouTube going all in on Shorts. I mean, you can't escape it. Then what would happen to long form video? Surely long form video would suffer. Well, there was a report that just came out, some new research from a group called Digital Eye, and they polled YouTube users 18 and older about what they watch on YouTube, specifically long form or short form, including shorts, because that would be that. There were some surprising things that came out of that. So I wanted to share some of the reports and some of the things in the report and some takeaways from it as well. Consumption of long form content on YouTube is rapidly rising in the US, according to the UK streaming data analysis company Digital Eye, which has found longer content accounted for 73% of overall viewing on the platform towards the end of last year. Over 73%. That's a lot. I mean, if you don't think it's a lot, check this out. Digital Eye's findings showed that the average time spent by US YouTube users on videos of 30 minutes in length or more rose by 8% last year from 65% in October 2023. Now, you may be saying, well, that's only 8%. Okay, I would love my bank account to go up by 8% every year. I'd take that in a heartbeat. Long form video is up 73%. Now, they define in this study, long form video is 30 minutes plus. That's huge. So that means if you go back and look at this one, that found longer content accounted for 73% of overall viewing, meaning content that was 30 plus minutes. Now, it also found this in the study. The trend is more pronounced among young adults aged 18 to 24 who watch YouTube on mobile devices. The average time spent viewing long-form content for this demo rose by 21% from 58% in October 23 to 79% a year later. So again, younger, what did it say the age was there? Yeah, 18 to 24, that they're watching longer form as well, even on mobile. Personally, as somebody who would much rather create long form video, who would much rather watch long form video, this is huge. Because if you're just a casual observer, again, you can't escape shorts. You would think that everybody's doing shorts and it's shorts all the time. Even though I try and hide the shorts feed, it keeps coming back, but it hasn't hurt. In fact, it's actually increased. Again, what's that magic number? 73% of overall viewing on the platform accounted for long form video. And again, according to this study from Digital Eye, long form is 30 plus. What are some of the takeaways for you and me? Well, if I were you, I would lean into long form video, especially over 30 minutes. Now, there's one caveat. I'm not saying drag out your content to get it over 30 minutes. I think that would be a mistake. I still think, personally, depending on what you do, whatever your content is, this is more of an education channel. So I always want to bring value. And I'm always focused on, did I say enough? Do I need to say more? If I said too much, sounds like a song. What song is that? Anyway, that if you lean into long form video, even over 30 minutes, there is more and more appetite for that. So if you're concerned about producing long videos, and again, I think this would relate to a lot of different kinds of topics. And by the way, if you're ever interested about, well, how do I find maybe what to do topics on and things like that? I've done a video on that. It's kind of about finding your niche and things like that. I'll put a link to that down in the description. But I would not shy away at all about producing longer form video, especially over 30 minutes. Another takeaway is like some content to consider wise, like longer tutorials. If you're teaching something, I would encourage you to slow the teaching down. That don't feel like you've got to bust through it. I was just watching a tutorial the other day about trying to do something in Final Cut Pro that I probably should have known how to do and I couldn't figure out. And it was a good video, but I had to roll it back 3 or 4 times because the guy just went through it so dang fast. So if you do tutorials, you're teaching something, consider slowing it down. Documentaries. Are you the kind that you like to go deeper on a topic? There are some very, very nice documentaries on YouTube, what I'll call documentaries, that sometimes they're not even calling them documentaries, that I think are just as good as something I found on Netflix. So consider that. video podcasting. So like this video right now, I will label a video podcast. So kind of inside my Kevin Colby YouTube channel, I have a designated playlist that's also a video podcast called Kevin's Talking About. I will make sure that this fits there. Why would I want to do that? Well, that also shows up on YouTube Music. Now, I can download it and put it on Spotify, which I've done inconsistently. But the point is video podcast is a very popular way of creating content. And that really, I think, allows you to go longer, whether it's a conversation with somebody else or several people, or just you want to do a take on something as well. And live streaming is another way to do that as well, where you can do a longer live stream. You can do short live streams too, but especially if you're doing Q&As or something like that. And by the way, I've written a book on video podcasting and live streaming. If you think it would help you, I'll put links to that down below. Just think about that. The content can also lend to that as well. I mean, I'm even thinking of other types of niches, if you will. Cooking could be that way. DIY. Exercise. I'm just thinking out loud of things that maybe you're doing. And I also did a video too about what I think are some trends you ought to look at, or some types of channels that if you're really wanting to do YouTube, you don't know what to do. I'll put a link to that down below too. You may want to watch those. But something else to consider, another takeaway, is if your content is more for the younger audience, because remember that aged 18 to 24, they're watching long-form content. It rose to 58%, no, to 79% a year later. That's younger on mobile. So if your content is really geared more to young, I mean, heck, you can be over 40 like me and still be talking to the youngins. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Then you may want to consider, is it mobile friendly? Now, how would you do that? Well, think about your graphics. In fact, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we found out, we looked at his analytics, over 50% in the last 28 days of his views are coming from mobile. And so I recommended to him that the graphics in his video go from like a lower third, something down here, to big on the screen. Even the thumbnails, that they look, think mobile. Now, I would always say if you're thinking mobile on your content and the way you package it, it'll still work on TV. It'll still work on laptop. But if you're only doing it for the smaller, or for the bigger screen or something like that, to be thinking about that. But again, if your target audience is younger, they're watching mobile and they're watching it longer. So I think there's a myth that probably is busted, at least in my mind, that the young demos, they're on their phones, they're only watching vertical, they're only interested in short form. It's just not the case. Consider long form video if it fits what you're doing. So if you're a short form content creator, or you really think you want to do that and you're afraid of long form, I would use this as an opportunity to say, let me try it and see how it goes. If you need any help with YouTube, check out the videos coming up. And again, the ones I mentioned down below. And if you haven't started, just start. Just start creating and put yourself out there and see what happens. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.